Hi, this is Eric Martin with Board Game Geek. I'm here with Braja from NSKN Games.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to be looking at In the Name of Odin. This is not final artwork for the box or anything that we're looking at here, but we're here to talk about the gameplay and learn how to play.
Okay, so let me first put that away. The thing I want to say, if you want to see the actual cover, go to nskn.net. You'll find the actual cover there. We've got that already. Now, basically this is a game about Vikings. The story is very simple. The old Jarl is, well, he's getting very old and he's looking for a successor since he had no sons. We are ambitious Vikings who want to become that successor and rule in the name of Odin. Now, what we do during the game basically revolves around raids. And 3 raids we have here. It's a medium-weight Euro game in which you do a lot of set collection and a bit of tableau building. Now what happens is you want to go to those raids because raids give you fame at the end of the game, and whoever has the most fame wins. To go on a raid, you need a couple components. You need specific Vikings that will go with you. Here they are represented as meeples. Again, this is not what we're going with the final game. We have them in 3 types. So we have the warriors, we have the seamen, and we have basically the traders. Now, you need to have a specific setup of those guys, but you also need a ship. So this is something you can get during a game. This is basically your personal player board, and the player board stores your ship, your buildings, and your famous Vikings. That's another thing you need to go on a raid. You need a famous Viking to become your
lead everybody, of course.
Exactly. So you've gathered your men, you have your famous Viking leading the expedition, you have your ship, then you can go on that expedition. Now, to make the game more interactive, there is a bit of a raising stakes mechanism, because whatever you do on your turn, you do it using action cards, and I will be talking about them in a moment. The important thing is you will always have a hand of those action cards, and when you go on a raid, other players can play action cards to basically make the raid a little more difficult for you. If you manage to match those action cards, those symbols, as you play them, you will get more points. And when this is finished, you have your fame points, you take it with you, and basically you continue with your turn. Now, how does every turn look like?
If you don't have these, though, do you fail?
No,
or
you don't
just
fail. You never fail, but you
not
don't,
as famous.
You're not as famous. I mean, you go on a raid and other people go to the village and say, well, you know, he didn't really go that far, you know.
That's right.
He's just over the horizon. Okay. There's a little island there he went, you know. Everyone else is trying to belittle what you're doing. Now, these cards, again, this is something you will have every turn, and there is a bit of a set collection within set collection, because you use the symbols on the cards to do different things. If you want to build ships, you're looking for ship symbols. If you want to recruit famous Vikings, you're looking for the famous Viking symbols. If you want to build buildings in your village, you're looking for basically the craftsmanship symbols. And again, there is always a tableau of ships and a tableau of buildings. If you want to, you can pay the number of symbols and put this building on your player board. When you do that, this building will provide you a symbol you can use once per turn. So basically not only what you have in your hand, but also what you have on your player board.
And training house now for Vikings.
Exactly. And you will also get a special ability. Every building has a special ability you can use. Your ships may be able to go further. You may be able to have more ships. You may be able to, for example, recruit easier or do different special things. Some of the famous Vikings also have special abilities, and some of them work during raids, but some of them you can just want to have this guy in your village because he has a special ability that will allow you to do something different, something very special. So, the game ends when all of the raids are basically gone from here.
There's no one left to sack.
Exactly. We've been everywhere.
Right.
Now, at the end of the game, you look at who has the most fame, and this is not only raids, these are also buildings that give you fame, these are also ships. If you build a really awesome ship, everyone will marvel at it. So, basically, this is how you collect fame. The person who has the most fame at the end wins. Like I said, it's a light Euro game. It has a Viking theme, but basically it's almost a family game in that there is interaction, because every time you go on a raid, other players can play cards, and you kind of have to be ready for that. But it's not very negative interaction, so it's kind of family friendly. About 45 minutes to an hour. well, a bit of a Viking adventure here.
And player count?
2 to 5 players at this point.
All right. How does it change with 2 versus 5? Like, what's the feel?
There is a very simple. There are a few very simple mechanisms. The first thing is that the number of raids you set up is different according to the number of players. So if you have fewer players, you will have fewer raids. That's one thing. The other thing is that when you're playing, basically the mechanism of adding those cards works like this. If nobody wants to add cards, the cards will be added from a deck. And other people may want to add cards, I didn't say that, because whenever they add a card, they will be able to take one card from the display. So when it's not your turn, you may want to exchange some of the symbols. The symbols also work in such a way that, for example, if I play just one red Viking, one warrior symbol, I will get 1 Viking. But if I play them 2 together, I can get 3. So the more symbols you have, the better the action will be. So some people might want to exchange those symbols. But still, even if you're playing with 2, the other person can play a card and you can get some cards from the deck. The game scales very well, and there is no artificial third player, there is nothing added beyond the board. It's, the more the merrier, they say. Yes, it's true, but also with 2, it's a perfectly good game, a bit of a duel at that player count.
All right, thanks very much for the overview.
Thank you.